Paul W.S. Anderson with his latest film, Monster Hunter. Let's break it down. From the director that brought you Resident Evil, Pompeii, and Death Race, just to name a few, is Paul W.S. Anderson's Monster Hunter. This film stars Milla Jovovich, Tony Jaa, Megan Good, Ron Perlman, and T.I. This movie is about an elite military force led by Captain Artemis when they fall through a mysterious portal that is populated by monsters. This movie is based on the video game Monster Hunter. I have not played the game, but I can tell you that this movie, as far as I've heard, is not like the video game at all. This film had a budget of $60 million, has a runtime of 105 minutes, and I'm going to break it down to you on what my positives were and what the negatives were. So the positive of this movie is Milla Jovovich is just kicking butt in this movie. She does a really good job of the action sequences. She always does good in the Resident Evil movies. So if you like her, this would be a good reason to watch this film. The other thing is the effects were okay, but I have more negatives with this film than I do positives. The negatives that I have with this film is Tony Jaa. In the movie, he's the hunter, and he knows very well about these monsters. But in the movie, he doesn't speak English very well. And it's interesting because Ron Perlman appears later in the movie as the Admiral, and he has spoken English for years. So you would think that the hunter would have picked up English throughout the movie, and he really doesn't at all. And the thing about this movie is it's really just Milla Jovovich and this hunter guy kind of barely communicating. They communicate through her giving him a piece of chocolate, and there's just not very much English that he even knows in this movie, and it's pretty much just them trying to find a escape route to get away from these monsters, so to speak. There's so much slow motion. It is just so annoying, and then at times the music is just so, I just think it's so annoying in this movie. The effects weren't too terrible in this, but I just think that there's so much overuse of the slow motion in this movie that it just gets quite annoying after a while. Even the ending is pretty bad. When you do watch it, if you do give it a chance, of course they set it up for a sequel. Of course, they want to turn this into a franchise. And I'm interested to see how much this movie even makes. There's so many bad reviews for this movie. The editing is really bad, and the director, for some reason, will do these random shots where it almost shows their expressions for a split second, but there's so much kind of editing and quick shots going on that sometimes you can barely even make out what's going on. And that's kind of another point of the movie that it was just annoying to watch. And then I'll add on to the fact that there's no plot really to this movie at all. Really, the plot is for just Milla Jovovich. She plays Captain Artemis in this movie. It's just to really just get home. The third act of this movie is kind of interesting, or kind of weird, really, because it just goes into this other direction. Where kind of where it starts off with the crew that's missing, that you see in the beginning, and they're on this quest, basically try to get her to go home, and it has this one shot where just the crazy editing that just keeps as a pattern in this movie, just keeps going on, and it goes to the last shot, and it seems like it's going to be the ending, and it's not. And then we keep going, and it's just really bad. And I didn't enjoy this film at all. I'm going to give this film a D, and that just because Milla Jovovich is always good in all her roles. But I would not watch this again. If you do, check it out. It's a mindless action film, if that's your kind of thing. with no plot, then this is the kind of movie that you'll enjoy. I got a little laugh at the bad editing in this movie. And with that, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on this movie. And hit subscribe, and let's talk about this movie. Thank you, guys.